Our protagonist for this movie is none other than John fucking Wood. So this movie is D-tier schlock. It's a foreign movie from Sweden, and for D-tier schlock, I love it. Even though the English is pretty bad, I absolutely love this movie, and here's why. The plot of the movie is Europe, it's a new dark age. There's some new pandemic that has ravaged Europe, and now it's organized Europe versus the Celts slash hermits slash people who have broken away. And so our main character, John Woods, is a special forces soldier, and he gets betrayed. His wife gets murdered by another member of this special forces group, and he just gives up, he deserts, and he becomes a hermit. Well, a few years later, a woman shows up at his doorstep, and she's been a guinea pig for the cure, and they've kind of cured this new pandemic or this new disease with her blood. So, and I think it's rumored that John Woods, later in the movie, it's hinted at that he's immune to this disease too. So, of course, for the sake of this new tyrannical Europe, they try to take her and they try to take him. Here's a clip. Here's a quick clip. And yeah, it goes about as well as you think, you know. And this movie is just great because I love it. It's the typical struggle between Rome and Celt, or civilized and barbarians. And if you've seen that first clip after the intro, it just oozes that Celt Viking aura, and I love it. And this movie should have been in the 80s. Right? It has that Schwarzenegger Commando kind of feel. And again, this movie's D-tier schlock. It's a little confusing at some points in the plot, but damn, did I fall in love with this movie. I love it. Anything where it's the lone hero standing against tyrants and oppressive assholes, and maybe even taking a hatchet to them, I just love it. Like The Patriot, for example. So this movie is fantastic. I frickin' loved it. And the guns, for Sweden being a chicken shit, anti-gun country, they got the guns, their airsoft guns or their prop guns, look pretty good. And as far as the sound effects, as far as the gun effects, as far as the blood and actual violence, it teeters on mediocre, but I love this movie. And if you guys know me, I love my schlocky cheese movies, and this one is one of them. So if you have Netflix, or if you can have access to Last Man Down, it's great cheese. And even though the English is pretty terrible and the acting doesn't really translate well with the English, this is one of those D-tier schlock movies that is just fun and entertaining. And that's why I look for in movies. It doesn't have to be some big brain fucking, higher education, higher minded, really makes you think movies. But that's just me. I like movies that are entertaining, and it doesn't matter if they're AAA, D-tier schlock, or Z movies. I kind of like those kind of movies because they have charm to it. And this movie has a charm to it. And you can sense that it's trying. And the character John Woods in this movie, what's not to like about a Viking just hatcheting tyrants in the head? Call me a weirdo, but I fucking love this movie, and I love, John Woods is great. A manly man hatcheting people in the dome. It's a great movie, and I recommend it. See you next time.
Patriotism is dead. There's only rebels and tyrants now.
A world ready for the righteous and the pure to inherit. other end is. No, I still got my safe, Reverend. Didn't turn it into no plowshare either.
Strings on me.
I'm taking over this territory.